to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application, and it's other than a renewal, and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone that would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First application is application 23-156 of Tracy Cooch, property located West Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
Tracy Kutch, 1413 America Avenue, West Babylon.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated September 28, 2023, environmental control memo dated September 29, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by William Hogan dated May 31st, 2000, well, updated May 2nd, 2013. Tax map acting as an area map.
Chairman, we have 5 photographs.
Would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes, sir. I recently purchased the property a year ago. They had an in-ground pool. I removed it this spring, applied for the permit. It got kicked back because of the pre-existing shed that somehow fell through the cracks before. I've applied for the variance just because it was the lesser of two vehicles and a lot less expensive for me than to just remove it and also pay for a new survey.
Turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
So are you replacing the pool?
I removed it, and I have the permit. The permit is approved, but they are withholding it until I get the shed squared away.
Okay.
Yeah, the pool is gone, and a new survey has been submitted reflecting that.
So if we approve this application, do you agree that if the shed is ever to be taken down, it'll be rebuilt in conforming location?
I do.
Okay. It is right up against the fence. I don't love it there, but if you purchase it like that, give you some slack. So there's no way it can be moved now? Is it like on?
It's
A
kind of
plaque or
wedged in
something?
between well, you see the fence
Yeah.
there, and then the air conditioning unit is right on the other side of it, so it's kind of, it's either I gotta destroy it or they really can't move it. And the yard is so small anyway, I would have to move it almost into the middle of the backyard in order for it to comply, I think, with your requirements.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
All right. I make a motion to approve application 23-156 with the condition that if the shed is ever to be taken down, it is rebuilt in a conforming location.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Next application is application 23-134 of Anthony and Brenda D. Prezito, property located in Deer Park. Name and address for the record.
Good evening. Larry Buscemi for Select Permits for the applicant, P.O. Box 679, Mount Sinai, New York.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated September 28, 2023, environmental control memo dated September 29, 2023, survey by Michael Minto dated June 13, 2023, tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, we have 8 photographs on the site plan by Todd O'Connell dated June 8th, 2023.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Good evening. This application is for several structures, including a shed and 2 roof overs, as well as a concrete patio, I guess you would call it. The planning memo points out, or requires or requests that we ask the homeowner to cut back 2 feet of that concrete patio, and I've spoken to the homeowner. He's willing to do that. However, if the board would see fit to require only 1.5 feet, it would be much easier for him, something to do with how the gate opens on the side. But if 2 feet is necessary, he will acquiesce to that. The smaller of the roof over is in line with the side of the house, and the rear roof over, doesn't actually require it. And we're at 35% FAR, where 30 is required, and while that's a decent amount of overage, I believe that's in line with other grants by this board. Also, if we remove some of the concrete patio, that number will go down slightly. Does the board have any questions?
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Correcchio.
Evening, how you doing tonight?
Fine. thank you.
What brings you here tonight?
We originally made an application for an existing dormer to the house, and when we did that, all the other structures came into play.
Okay, so this hearing tonight is just for these existing conditions. Homeowner's willing to cut back 2 feet because he's going to be doing construction anyway, correct? Am I understanding that?
No, there's no,
Not gonna do
everything's existing.
Not going to do the dormer?
Dormer exists,
Okay. So he's willing to cut back that patio 2 feet,
correct.
okay?
Although he was asking if possible 1.5 feet.
1.5 feet?
Because something to do with how the
I mean,
gate
if he's-
opens.
If he's doing the construction anyway, for 6 inches to conform, to the requirements.
Right.
What's the difference?
True.
I know you said something about a gate.
Right, or just the gate apparently the gate opens easier. I guess it's the post for the gate are 1.5 feet from the property line. And just to be clear, Mr. Crescia, all work in this application has been done already. This is a maintained application. Everything says the dormer was built and is CO'd. We actually applied for finishing the dormer, and that's how this started, which was also already done.
All right, so if we cut it back 1.5 feet, that'll conform and maintain the gate the way it stands, correct?
Exactly.
And if the shed ever be taken down or removed, he agrees to rebuild it in a conforming location?
He does.
Okay, and overhang on the patio, he agrees not to enclose it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions. Do we need to get another set of plans to? Well, he's going to go back up.
So he'd have to, if he doesn't do that, then he's...
Okay, so we can just amend that variance then. Okay. Any other questions or any?
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to amend variance number 5 from 2 feet to 1.5 feet.
Second.
Okay, okay. And
All
Mr.
in favor?
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 23-134 with the condition that if the shed ever be moved, it be rebuilt in a conforming location, and that the roof overhang patios will not be further enclosed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay,
Thank you. Have a great night. Now, when we talk about a plan, we're talking about a survey because it's a concrete patio. I don't really have a plan for that. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next application is application 23-160 of Timothy Fracruieri, property located in Copac. We get close. Name and address for the record.
Timothy Francaveri, 555 Pine Lawn Avenue, Copac.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yep.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated September 28, 2023. Environmental control memo dated September 29, 2023. If this application were approved, would not create any problems. A survey by Anastasia Parsatoon, dated February 23rd, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map, and
And we have 8 photographs.
okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
I would like to go for a variance to change the front yard setback, because the front vestibule was rotted out, like a lot of termite damage, and you'd have to open the door, like, you'd have to go up the steps, open the door, open it up, and then go back in. So I unenclosed it, and it's like a foot bigger, so.
So, you're adding a vestibule and a portico?
Where the front door was?
Yeah.
Now it's unenclosed, but it's a foot closer to the front of the street.
Yeah, he
Like the
bumped
steps
it
come out a foot more.
Okay.
Look nice. I know that's actually the one.
Oh, okay.
That's what it looked like on the pictures he has, is what it looks like now.
So, Mr. Chairman, if you could see the picture on the screen, it was the previous what they had, and what they submitted the photographs is what they're applying for now.
So, if we were to approve this, would you agree that the portico not be enclosed?
Yes.
All right.
That looks good.
That's the only thing you're here for, is just that?
Yeah. What you see in the pictures has been, but it's not to put up the railings and finished my front siding.
So what triggered you to come down? Like, how did you know that you have to apply?
I got a stop work order.
You got a stop work order?
Who's doing the work? You're doing the work, or you have somebody doing it?
I have someone helping me out, but most of it's done by
You're
me.
basically doing it, you're having help?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I have no further questions. Any other questions from the board? No. Would anyone like to be heard on this application?
You agree not to enclose that, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve application 23-160 with a condition on the face of the CO that the portico not be enclosed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
With names tonight? Yeah. What's this name? Killing me here. Peoria?
Denied.
No, no, this name's another name. Pereira. Next application is application 23-161 of Joan Portello and Stephen Pereira, property located in West Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
30 15th Avenue, West Babylon.
Need your name, too?
Joan K. Portello Pereira.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated September 28, 2023. Environmental Control memo dated September 29, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by New York Land Surveyors dated May 16, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman's 11 photographs on the site plan by Harold E. Gephardt dated July 17, 2023.
okay, would you like to tell us about the application?
Basically, we just want to put an in-ground pool in the backyard.
Okay. Turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
Okay. I did drive by. The property was very well kept. so that's a good thing. The deck is large. When was it built?
I have no idea.
Did you purchase it with the deck, or you guys?
No, I added it on later. The house was deeded to me,
Okay,
so we added the deck on. I think it had to be about 23 years ago now.
okay. And it is access to the kitchen, or what is it, for the second floor?
Yeah, it access to like a small dining area.
Okay. And the accessory structures, I only saw one, but they're saying there's two on the property. Is there two, or is there one?
You're talking about the shed?
Yeah.
Yeah, one, there's a shed now that's, it can't be moved, like it's on a cement block, one of the sheds.
Okay.
And again, I know ignorance is my fault on that part, but I thought my dad had already had permits for that one shed. And then we added a Rubbermaid shed just to store things.
Okay, so is there any way one of them can be removed? With the addition, with the pool?
If we had to, yeah, we can remove the Rubbermaid.
Okay, perfect. We will like that. If approved, do you agree to not enclose the deck?
Yes,
You agree to not enclose it?
yeah.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board?
We need to amend these,
Well, see, we don't, are those, okay, these are not amendments, are they? It's just, they are?
So this property was upzoned, but as per the town board resolution, it maintains the residency requirement. So it was advertised as residency, which is stricter, so it will need to be advertised. But it does need to be amended to reflect the
Residency. Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Okay, we got a. Per the.
okay, I'll do it. All right, I make a motion to amend application 23-161 per the Planning and Development memo dated, September 28th, 2023.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
agree the one shed is to be removed.
Yes.
So you said that it was the 49 square foot shed you're agreeing to?
Whatever the smaller one is, yeah.
So is that,
It doesn't need its own variance, that was in a conforming location, but
That's
it
it.
would reduce lot coverage by 49 square feet.
so we have to recalculate the lot coverage?
If you make it as a condition that
That will
lot
recon,
coverage
okay,
reflective 49 square feet removed.
okay.
Can we hold that? Can we reserve it and do it after?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, let's reserve it.
You're the boss.
Go over all the conditions.
Do it now? Subject to removal of shed. Okay. Okay. I make a motion to approve application 23-161 as amended, subject to the conditions agreed upon regarding the deck and shed and reconfiguration of the lot coverage.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck. So,
Okay.
you're good, you don't have to do anything. We'll reconfigure the lot coverage and then they,
You'll get the decision in the mail, and then it will get sent down to the building department and they'll notify you for the survey.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
okay, you're welcome. Next application is application 23-151 of James Hurt, property located in West Babylon. Again. Sorry.
You take your candy for all good
Yeah, really. Name and address for the record, please.
James Hurt, 56 Troy Avenue, West Babylon, New York.
You affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated September 28, 2023. Environmental Control Memo dated September 29, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Greg Lahat last dated February 4, 2017. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 4 photographs.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Requesting to add a second-story dormer along with a garage with attic. I have no storage whatsoever with my house. I have a crawl space. And 2 kids sharing a room that shouldn't be. That's about it.
Turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
All right, so you guys kind of are sandwiched in between second-story housing, so I understand the need for an extension. It just plays as if it can be an accessory apartment. You guys don't plan on,
Not at all.
it's just for extra space for the family?
That's it.
Okay. The front porch, do you agree not to enclose that?
I agree.
Garage, not used for habitable space, it's just for storage and cars, whatever you're gonna
Cars,
do.
storage, that's it.
All right. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Just for the record, do you see the comment you have architects
About-
review it?
About the drainage, yes, ma'am.
Do we need to amend and...
Okay, I make it, for application 23-151, I make amendments as stated on the Planning and Development memo dated September 28th, 2023.
Second. All in favor?
Thank you.
And now I make a motion to approve application 23-151 as amended with the conditions that the front porch not be further enclosed, the garage maintains as a storage space, not habitable space, and no accessory apartment.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Next application is application 23-157 of 1280, 1290 Straight Path LLC, property located in Wyandancher.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record, please.
Charles Lembo, architect, 410 West Montauk Highway, Lindenhurst, New York, 11757.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
I sure do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated September 28, 2023. Environmental Control memo dated October 3rd, 2023. If we were to approve this application, it would need a negative declaration. A survey by Charles Lembo dated 9/20. Tax map acting as an area map, and
You don't have any photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. So this is a multifamily project in the T3 portion of the Wyandanch downtown zone. The site area is just under 60,000 square feet, and we're proposing 11 buildings comprising a total of 19 units. It's a mixture of single and two-family houses. Important to note that in the T3 zone, this is the only thing that's allowed to be done. So this is, what the code requires for that zone. I'm here tonight to request a variance for diminished frontage occupancy on both Straight Path and Garrison, and I'll get into the nuances of what that is in a second. I would just like to make a statement about the planning memo, because it's important that I clarify something. The memo states that while planning is in support of this, they make a comment that along Straight Path, it would be difficult for me to achieve the frontage occupancy of 75 to 90%, and it would be challenging to meet the requirement along Garrison Avenue as well. This would give the board the impression, by using the words challenging and difficult, that if I gave it the old college try, that I could do something to avoid the variance, which is just simply not true. The variance is unavoidable due to a conflict in the code, and planning's aware of it. If the board is interested, I have an email chain between me and Rachel where she, agrees that the code is, that I can comply with it, and while the code probably needs to be amended, town code only gives her the ability to give me a 15% waiver, and since I need about I believe a 50% waiver along Garrison Avenue, I had to come to the zoning board regardless. I don't know if you guys want to see this at some point. So anyway, let me explain what the issue is. So, can you guys all hear me? I'll talk loud.
Is the microphone picking it up?
I can slide
Yeah,
over.
maybe you slide that over a little, yeah, there you go.
All right, can you hear me? Does that work?
It's more for the recording purposes.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Okay. All right. So the Wyandanch zone is specific in the way that it's written, and there are a lot of different things in here that are not required in other zones. For the T3 zone, each of these units has to be built on an imaginary lot. And the lot is prescribed in the zoning code, and it gives specific dimensions. And each unit has to be placed on that lot. There are side yard requirements for that lot, as well as a minimum separation distance between the buildings, and the lots can't overlap. So, and they have to be unencumbered by property lines or anything else. So this, for instance, is one lot. This is another. This is another. And they alternate around the site. And again, none of these areas can overlap. This guarantees that every unit gets a specific amount of space. Now, also as part of the T3 zone, they don't have setbacks, they have a build-to line. So it's not a minimum, it's a requirement that along Straight Path, the building must be set at 25 feet from the property line, and on Garrison, it must be set at 16 feet. And then we get to the point of the zoning application. The code requires that I fill a specific amount of the frontage with building. Now, on Straight Path, the minimum that I have to fill is 75% of the frontage, and on Garrison, it's 55%. And this is where the problem is. You can see that all these units are all touching each other on their imaginary lots. I'm not allowed to build in this triangle because I can't fit one of these lots there without overlapping the property line, and I can't put any more this way because they'll conflict with this building because of the corner. When you add up all the area of the linear face of the building and you divide it by the length of the property line available, there is literally no way to fill up 75% of the frontage. It just can't happen. You're also not allowed to park in the front yard, which means I need to gain access to the area in the middle of the lot, and we're doing that on Garrison Avenue with a standard 30-foot curb cut and a two-way drive aisle. And when you take that over the dimension of the property line along Garrison, I can't build in this triangle because I don't have the full depth of the imaginary lot that I need, and I can't build in the drive aisle, obviously, so there's no way to fill up the required frontage on Garrison, which in this case is 55%. That's not to say that it can't be done under all circumstances, but just so the board understands, I did the math backwards, and in a perfect world, if you had a perfectly rectangular site with right angles, so I wouldn't have this little doobly-doo on the end here, and I didn't have a corner, in order to have enough facade using these building sizes to get a 30-foot curb cut, the buffer, a sidewalk, and the buildings as outlined by the code, I would need a minimum of 375.5 linear feet of property line, and my site only has 291.64 linear feet. So again, it's literally impossible to comply. This is very similar. I don't know if you were all present for my presentation a month ago at 7 Patton. It's the exact same situation. It's a problem in the Wyandanch zone that at some point somebody needs to address. The other issue, again, is, as I said, this is literally the only thing that's allowed to be built in this zone, and it must be built this way. So if the zoning board, for whatever reason, doesn't grant this variance, this site will then be undevelopable in perpetuity. Because if that can't be granted, then nothing can go here. It's an issue. It needs to be fixed. Anyway, that's my presentation. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? I would. Okay. Name and address for the record.
Muzio Tellini, 1311 Hempstead Turnpike, Elmont, New York. We own the properties immediately to the west and to the north of this project. I had a list of things I was going to go through, but I disagree with what the applicant just said, that there's no other use that can be done with this property and that there's no other applicant that could actually do something with this property. I disagree with that 100%. So now I'll get back to my comments. First of all, we don't have any objection to the use that is proposed. The apartments are fine. In fact, we would actually want more. We have some problems with the aesthetics. Some of the walkways, we'd like to see brick pavers. Would look a lot nicer. The steps leading to the units, we don't know what they're made out of. We'd like to see some, at least made out of a natural stone or that paver, not just some cheap pressure-treated material. The facades, at least along Straight Path and Garrison, we'd like to see a brick facade, not a partial, no vinyl siding. Excuse me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a zoning board certainly has the ability to analyze the character of a neighborhood and grant. That's correct. So these are front yard variances, correct? Okay, thank you. Okay, fine. No problem. So we disagree that the facades of these buildings are in character with the buildings that are already on Straight Path. The buildings immediately to the north are brick facades, and our building, which is immediately to the north of that, is stone and stucco. Not only is it just a facade, but our entire building is that. We think we can do better than vinyl siding. There was no, what's going on with Garrison Avenue? It's a paper street right now, and there's quite a bit of issues with flooding on Garrison. I didn't hear any comments as to what's happening on Garrison or not, if there's additional drainage. Perhaps it's addressed in one of the memos that I didn't see. So if that's the case, I'll wait to see those comments. The last comment, I'd like to hand up something to the board. This is a survey. If you don't mind, I'll use his survey to describe to the board. So immediately to the north, this is our property. This property is in litigation right now. There's a portion of it that's in litigation. And it's subject to an adverse possession claim, and if you look at the survey, it's highlighted for you to review. Everyone have a copy? I think I made 6 copies. I don't know if that's enough. It's enough? We're good? Okay. So neither the applicant nor we can guarantee the results of the litigation. But what we can say is that we have an adverse possession. It's on a significant portion of the northerly section of this property, which can create additional variances if, in fact, a court grants us, or if a court rules that we, in fact, are the owner of that portion of the property. It's not depicted on this survey, but it is depicted on this, the existing conditions. So what we're recommending here is for the board to condition any decision that it makes subject to the resolution of that litigation. And this board certainly has the power to put conditions on any decision that it makes, and you do it all the time. This is no different. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to discuss the litigation too much, other than what we've already said. So to review, we joined the planning application, the planning memo. We have issues with the aesthetics, and we have issues with who in fact has title to a portion of this property. Have a nice evening.
You too. Thank you. Would
If
anyone else
anybody has
like
any
to be-
questions, I'm here to answer them.
Would we have any questions? I think we're good, thanks. Would anybody else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail. Thanks for coming down. We'll look into your concerns. Thanks.
What property do they own?
Next application is application 23-158 of Walmart Stores, Inc., property located in East Farmingdale. Name and address for the record, please.
Chance Tempe, 965 Broad Hollow Road.
And do you affirm to tell the truth? Yeah, do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
And you're representing Walmart?
I am. I'm the compliance manager at the location currently.
Okay.
Chance, just like the word C-H-A-N-C-E, Tempe, T-E-M-P-E. Farmingdale. Right, it's the address listed.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated September 28, 2023. Environmental Control memo dated October 2nd, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A fire marshal's report dated October 5th, 2023. The above location to conduct fire inspection, no violations. Suffolk County Planning memo dated September 20th, 2023. Decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. A survey by Bound Group dated March 2007. Site plan by Joseph Deal dated, my God, 2/13/18, I think. Guys got to make this stuff bigger. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 4 photographs.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
For my knowledge, the site is requesting a exception permit because we're doing oil changes on a garage that's fixed to location. I was told that there was a renewal that happened in 2020 that wasn't handled correctly from home office end, and they said that they were going to come down here and change how we were doing it and make sure that we were all up to code as far as I'm aware. Some of the concerns that were brought to me were the tire displays outside and then the oil being left outside of the auto care center. That was some of the things that were brought to my attention.
Okay, and that's things that are on the planning memo. So why was there a 3-year lapse?
That I am not aware of. I am aware that they got involved, and that's why I'm here today, to see if there's anything else that we need to do to grant this extension.
Come on time?
Yes.
Just saying.
I know that a lot of these compliances are handled outside of the individual site, and that was a home office thing. That was a corporate office lapse. It wasn't something that happened in the store.
Okay. And also there are photographs showing tires being stored outside of the public garage. Do we know about that?
We have corrected that issue.
Corrected the issue?
Yes, we have. There are no longer any of the fixtures or any of the displays being.
Moving forward, Chance, are you going to be responsible for making sure this is renewed on time, or is this still going to be a corporate thing?
It is still a corporate thing when we go through. I know that they needed they said they needed a representative from the store who's going to take control of owning some of the things that we have to own, like the displays and the oil and everything like that. And that's why I'm here, because I'm in charge of the compliance in the building as of July. I just got into this building. I came from New Jersey. So I'm going to be going forward and taking care of these issues, making sure that we're not out of compliance with these. So I have created routines to make sure that we're on time. When I first got to the building, we sent out all of our hazardous waste to local PD, fire, and the hospitals to make sure that they have updated plans of our fire extinguishers, fire exits, and all of our hazardous waste contingency plans. So I've updated everything on my end that I can to try to show good faith that we're going to continue to do the right thing.
There's no violations there. So you're going to be in charge of making sure this happens on time?
Well, yes, we're going to be following up. Myself and the general manager have been assigned to make sure that we follow up with our home office counterparts.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? So I'm going to make a motion to approve application 23-158 for a period of 1 year.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're on the clock.
We have no outdoor storage of tires. That has been removed, and there are no outdoor displays either.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Number 8 is application 23-164 of Kid Strong, property located in West Babylon.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record.
Philip Butler with the law firm of Farrell Fritz, 100 Motor Parkway, Hauppauge, New York, representing the property owner and applicant.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated September 28, 2023, environmental control memo dated October 4, 2023. If we were to approve this application, it needs a negative declaration. A fire marshal's report dated October 5th, 2023. Tenant space within the fire system replaced, but will need to be. Did you get a copy of this fire where is it? Did you get a copy of the fire marshal's report?
I actually did not. I only received the planning memo today.
Okay. This so looks.
Number 8. Number 8. So it's behind, it might be the last, yeah.
Looks like there's at least some housekeeping issues that need to be taken care of here. Plans, permit, yeah, there's a number of things on that that needs to be taken care of. Suffolk County Planning Memo dated September 20th, 2023. A survey by James Weed dated October 23rd, 2014. A site plan by Joseph Deal dated June 28th, 2022. A tax map acting as an area map. Second tax map acting as an area map. A life safety egress plan. It's dated July 19, 2023. I cannot make out who that's by. Yeah, I just can't see it. I'll start telling them size font they're gonna make.
And 2 photographs.
The old guy with the glasses can't even see it, you know? Come on, man.
Also,
Getting help from the young.
What information are you looking for, Mr. Chairman? Sorry.
also with a site plan by Joseph A. Deal dated June 28th, 2022.
So the life safety egress plan, who was that by?
Luigi Geleno,
Okay.
architect.
Yeah, got it. I can't read it. There's a name, but I can't read it, so. Charnice. Okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
So just for the record, I did have an opportunity to review the fire marshal's memo that I just got. I don't think anything here is relevant to this application. Obviously, this is all about the build-out of the space and complying with the fire code. I think that's all pretty standard stuff, run-of-the-mill. So I know the board is probably interested in knowing more about the use. I did check your code. You don't have anything specific in terms of terms and conditions for this sort of use. So if there are conditions, obviously, I'm happy to discuss them and bring them back to my client. Again, I represent the property owner, the landlord. The actual tenant will be Kid Strong. There's a representative here this evening, Mr. Greg, sorry, I'm blanking on your name, Greg Hedger, who can answer any questions that I can't. He actually works in the Sayville location, which is already up and running. That is a 4,000 square foot facility. This will be roughly 3,000 square feet, roughly 2,200 of which is actually occupiable space. So more about the use, it's what they call a milestone builder. It's basically for skill and fitness development for children up to the age of 11. Something similar to a gym class, but the programs are classes that are more targeted towards skill building, independence, mental health, mental development, character development, things that teach the child to be more independent, and also helps them get to certain milestone benchmarks of development. So they have coaches. This facility will have at any time up to 3 coaches and 1 manager. They're averaging about 20 students or kids at a time. That's during their peak operation. The hours of operation, they have 1 morning class Monday through Thursday that goes, it starts at 9:15. Then they have afternoon courses that start at 4:15 and run till 7 p.m. There are no courses on Fridays. And then Saturday and Sunday, they run courses 9:15 to about noon. The parents stay with the children. This is not a New York State licensed facility. They are not required to operate with a state license because the parents remain on the premises with the kids at all time. I think the site overall is probably familiar to this board. I think it's been before you 2 or 3 times already. The photo you saw up there today is obviously not indicative of what's there today. The actual building has been completed. Everything is done. They have COs for the existing tenants, which are a physical fitness facility and a Moe's. So we're basically just asking for a special exception permit, no additional relief.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
Okay, so you pretty much answered all of our questions. This is pretty unique. I haven't heard of it, but I like it.
Yeah.
So 1 morning class, Monday through Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
9:15 to about noon?
9:15 to 10.
10.
It's a 45-minute class.
9:15 to
All
10.
courses 45 minutes? All courses are 45 minutes.
Okay, so after 10, that's it?
They break for the afternoon and then they start back up.
4:15.
4:15, right. So there's no classes during the
Got it.
middle of the day.
Okay. Got it. 3 coaches, 20 kids.
Right, but
For the 3.
that's what they're averaging right now. I mean, that's actually based on the numbers from the Sayville facility, which is
Okay.
up and running, but that's actually a larger facility than this one, so.
So it's give or
there's-
take.
Right, so they're assuming 20 kids, and they can obviously report on their staffing, because that's what they're going to use.
Okay. How do you guys advertise? How do you guys get people to know about this business?
Well, I wasn't ready for that one.
I'll come up. Yeah, so majority of our
Yeah,
advertising.
ho. Need your name and address for the
I'm sorry,
record.
Yep. My name is Greg Hedger. I live in 15 Cedar Bay, Bayport, New York.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. We do most of our advertising through Facebook.
Okay.
So that's where a majority of our ads are run. We're a franchise, so the franchisor is actually in Texas, and they do a majority of the advertising. They make sure that everything stays on brand. So we are actually limited on what we can do. It has to be 100% approved by our franchisor to make sure that we're not marketing to for the wrong reasons, essentially.
Right, because I'm just kind of interested, so if you're not New York State approved, it's just, so what's your like insurance policy? I know the parents are on site, but,
Yeah, so we have normal general liability. We do have like molestation. We have, I forgot what else. We have professional liability. We have
Okay.
EPLI insurance. So it's just kind of normal business practices.
okay. How long have you guys been set up in Sayville?
We just opened in February, so of this year. So we're still getting our bearings, but
Okay.
it's a lot of fun. Kids are challenging, but we love it and really passionate about it.
Okay, I like it. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board?
Just one, Mick. You said 3 coaches. Is that the total employees, or is there staff?
No, it would be, so in total, we'd probably have maybe 6 or 7. But at one time, you'd only have 3 in the building.
And could you just explain to me, this is like a character building, confidence type course?
Yeah, so you're with your peers, you're amongst your peers, so you're gonna be with kids of similar age. The nice age, our core age group is 4, which is a lot of kids that actually were born during, COVID times or weren't around kids of similar age. So you're able to kind of go up, how to share, how to do challenging things. We also play like The Floor is Lava. We do fun games, but essentially you're gonna learn based on, when kids are starting the ages that they're supposed to be writing in, they're gonna be hanging on the rings to get those muscles going where they're actually gonna be writing. So it's programmed from corporate where they have PTs, OTs doing all the planning based on your age group because all the classes are age group based.
Are there any educational structures to this course? Like
Yeah.
math or reading or anything?
So we do different languages. We're going to learn, Spanish and other languages depending on the age group. But it's all the young kids still are. We introduce it very young because that's when they're the most. They soak it up. Yeah.
That's very interesting. Thanks.
It goes up to what, 11, you said?
Yeah, 11. Ages walking to 11.
Now, is this available for every kid, or is it?
Yeah, absolutely. We have kids with, disabilities, and everyone's welcome, and we'll help the parents assess which age group is best. It's not based on age, it's kind of based on where your abilities are.
Maturity.
And then we essentially want to start the child really in a group that they can achieve, and then if they graduate, then we can celebrate the graduation, and they can move on to a different age group.
Is it monthly packages as far as or is it yearly subscriptions? Or?
It's just a monthly membership. It's just month to month.
So summer hours, do hours change in the summer or anything like that?
Yeah, so actually during those gaps, we'll definitely have camps. So we try to align those with some of the breaks to give parents, somewhere to bring their kids during like a break.
Okay.
So it would be like during that between 10 o'clock to before afternoon classes. But it would only be for like a week. It's not really a long term.
Summer long?
Yeah, it's not the summer long. It's,
Not a
yeah, we
camp.
pick once or twice.
So still 45-minute sessions?
How long are the camps? Sorry. 90? Oh, 9 to 2. Okay, so it would be a longer
Yeah.
time during that.
Parents are still on site for this?
For the camps, no, and we have to staff more coaches actually at that time. So depending on how many kids we have, we do. We haven't done much on the camp side, to be honest, because we're really trying to get the classes. That's really the bread and butter of what is best for the kids and what we want to be best at.
So you won't need state licensing if the parents aren't there?
Yeah, for the state licensing, it is when it's in excess of 10, is my understanding, when there's more than 10 kids. And we don't have anywhere close to that. I think we had 3 in Sayville. 3 kids, yeah. So like the summer, we didn't do a great job, in all honesty. It's not like what we do best at, the summer camp. So it's not really part of the business model, I would say.
Well, let's say we have a banner year in '24 and you got 12 kids in each class. Who, how, where, when?
What I would prefer to do if we had a banner year, I'd rather add more class times to have more classes instead of doing camps.
If you needed the license, you'd get it if that was
Absolutely,
the case.
yeah.
Now, would that come from corporate? Is that
Corporate would
something
tell us, actually. They wouldn't allow us to, we only have limited options in our point of sale system of what we can do. So for example, if we wanted to have camps, like when we had to add it, we had to say, okay, they told us it was 10 students, so we only had 3, and yeah.
So do you guys, you bought the franchise, do you go like to corporate and they like train and stuff like that?
Yeah, so my team here, that we all went down to Texas. We stayed there for 3 days, and we learned directly from them, and they actually require it. And then they also travel up to us quarterly. So they met up here in July. They came and saw the facility. We asked them questions, and we meet with them weekly. They're heavily involved out of all
My next
franchises.
question was,
Yeah.
yeah.
They actually, we have security cameras, and 2 of the cameras that are within the facility go right to corporate, and corporate evaluates our coaches from Texas. So if they, it's a lot. But they're like, because it's kids, you got to knock it out of the park.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's serious, and we take it serious.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Record it on, we're going to close the hearing, we're going to reserve decision to get the decision in the mail. Thanks for coming down, very,
Thank you.
interesting concept. Funny, you should know that. Okay, the next application is application 23-132 of 1398 Acorn Street LLC, property located in Copiague.
Good afternoon.
Name and address for the record,
Yes,
please.
my name is Janusz Kenigsman, 1398 Action Street, Copiague, New York 11726.
You affirm to tell the truth?
Yes,
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated September 7, 2023. Photograph of the parking lot showing cars, trucks. Environmental control memo dated September 13, 2023. If approved, this application may not result in significant impact. Subject property has an automotive oil tank that is no longer in use. The tank should be removed or registered with, you should have gotten a copy of this with the planning memo,
yes,
that the tank needs to be removed.
yes.
Fire Marshal's report, September 14, 2023, open fire prevention report with, did you get a copy of this?
No, I do not have it. Oh, yeah, I have copy, yes.
You got a copy of the Fire Marshal's report?
No, I do not. No, yes, I have, yes, I have. Yes, I have, yes, thank
Okay.
you. Yes.
Okay, so there's a number of items on there that need to be
Yeah, I
taken care
can
of.
see that, yes.
Suffolk County Planning Memo dated August 29, 2023. Decision of local determination, take no position for or against, and,
There's 4 photographs.
okay.
For the record, it's a new application. Can we just confirm the property owner is present?
Is the you're the
Tenant?
tenant.
No, I am the owner.
Oh, you're the owner?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah, I tried to get permit for the auto body repair shop, which like renewal one, because this was issued before, and I bought the building and the permit was like not paid, so I tried to renewal this.
So you just recently purchased the building?
Yes, last year, yes.
As an auto body shop? Or you
Yes.
Or you converted it to an auto body?
No, this was already auto body shop. Dennis auto body shop was there already.
And you bought the building and the business and the property?
Yes. So the Dennis moved it and left the building empty, so I tried to renew the permit to get for auto body repair shop. On my name.
Okay, so it was out of business, you didn't buy an existing business there?
No, I did
No,
not.
it was an empty building?
Correct.
That previously was an auto
Correct.
body shop?
Yes.
But had no permits for an auto body
No.
shop? Okay.
Is there any towing out of this location?
Excuse me?
Towing. Is there any towing done?
No,
You tow
no.
vehicles? No?
No towing, no.
Are there vehicles stored there
Yes,
currently right now?
yes.
Do you know that you can't have vehicles stored outside?
No, I do not that.
Okay, you can't. So we're gonna have to have them removed,
Okay.
okay?
There's no permits for outside storage, that's what we're trying to tell you. So all the trucks that are parked on the side and in the front, you can't have them, they're not permitted. That's just, you know, if you needed to park on a daily basis just for your employees or for yourself, you could do that, but at night, you cannot have any outdoor storage whatsoever. It has to be all stored inside the building.
Okay.
Okay.
So you'll agree to remove those vehicles that are being stored?
Yes.
Quite a few vehicles there that need to be removed.
Okay.
You do understand at night you cannot park anything outside around the
Okay.
building.
Are those vehicles that you're operating on, or they're just,
No, that just I mean, I renting for the modern shop auto body shop. So they're buying the car and they're selling the car.
okay.
So, yeah.
So you're purchasing vehicles, restoring them, and reselling them?
Yes.
Okay, and you have a dealer's license to do that?
No, no, no. The tenant has the dealer's license and everything.
Okay, now I'm confused. So you're not running the body shop? You're
No,
just-
I do not.
You're just
I
the
do not.
landlord?
No,
Tenant here tonight? Is the tenant here?
no, the tenant is not here.
The special exception permit is to only operate a public garage, it's an auto body repair shop.
Yes.
So that would be the only thing that's permitted at that site.
Okay.
It doesn't include sales of vehicles.
Okay.
Or outdoor storage?
Okay. Okay.
And you have to address all the fire marshal's conditions also?
Yes.
Okay.
Just for your knowledge, the special exception permit is a renewable permit. You would have to continue to come back in front of the board if they choose to approve it. They give time limits, and you have to continuously keep up with these permits.
Okay. Okay, I understand.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail.
Thank you so much. Thank
In the meantime, you need to reach out to the fire marshal to address
Yeah.
any comments.
Okay.
You have to remove the vehicles from stored there.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, this concludes our live streaming part of the meeting.